It gets messy. Check out that glove, covered in ink. You know, we always got them butter knives in the drawer that we never use. Tell me who uses butter knives at home. Come on.
In today's episode, we got to set up screen printing for 100 shirts. We ran out of cream ink. Well, we didn't run out, but we don't have enough. We're running low. So we won't have enough to print the full 100 shirts, but we probably have enough to print like 20 shirts. So I'm mixing up some more cream colors until we get the color.
So I had to pull up the Home Depot real quick because I didn't have a container big enough to fit the amount of ink that I needed. So here I'm checking out the different size buckets they got, thinking about like a gallon or a little bit less, but I need at least 2 quarts of ink because it's for 100 shirts. So here I finally found the one that's about the right size, 2.5 quarts. As I was about to grab that one, this other one caught my eye. It was a gray bucket, but it had the handle. The handles were sold me. So I went ahead and gone with this one.
This look like this will work. Needed a bucket just for the right size to mix up cream for 100 shirts. So I need about 2 quarts of ink. This should do. And it has a lid, so got what I came for. Got the bucket, so let's get back and mix up this cream ink. In a Patone book, I found a cream that matches close enough, and then I read it that it needed yellow and red.
So those 2 colors is basically makes the cream color. So this is what I'm working with. This is a sample print on old shirts that we sent over to the client for approval. So I gotta match this cream color. So let's get to it. Clean up my area real quick. Let's prepare everything. Pop up that lid, put on a pair of gloves because it can get messy. Here I got the different inks I need. I'm gonna run with the yellow and the orange and white. White's gonna be our base layer. So we're gonna need a whole lot of it. So the majority of this bucket's gonna be filled up with white ink. So once I fill it up to about 3/4 full, then I can start mixing the colors in. Here we got the bucket. Let's get it and get the colors in there. But first I'm gonna put the trash bag down just so it doesn't make our platen dirty. Grab my butter knives. This is what I use to mix ink. You know, we always got them butter knives in the drawer that we never use. Tell me who uses butter knives at home. Come on. So we use these butter knives to mix ink because we got extra that we don't use. And they work great for mixing pints and quarts. Mix up that orange ink until it's a nice consistency. Then I start adding it to my white. I start off with orange first because it's the darker color. The Pantone book does say red, but I'm gonna use orange since it's lighter. I can always go darker later, but I can't go lighter later. And this is what it looks like once I mix the orange. It already looks creamy like an ormsicle, but now I need a yellow tint. So I'm whipping up that yellow ink until it gets a nice cream consistency, and I add it to the white. And I'm sure you're wondering about the shirts in the background. Those are getting neck tagged by Rick. You know, the grind don't stop here. We gotta get the work done because the clients are waiting for the orders. So the butter knives wasn't cutting it, so I had to grab a bigger spatula. And I went ahead and grabbed the old cream ink that we had sitting around and mixed it in the bucket as well. You know, we can't let no ink go to waste. And that way it color matches with the rest of the cream. And I'm telling you, it gets messy. Check out that glove, covered in ink. And I decided to add some gray because it needed to be a little bit darker. So I want to gradually add a darker color to it just to make that cream a little bit darker, but it looks like it did the trick.
So today's dilemma, we got to screen print 100 of these shirts right here. As you can see, we have it set up. This is a sample. You can see what we do, registration marks. So I'm going ahead and scrape off the rest of this ink that's on the screen. Just mix it in with the full bucket just to make sure the colors are nice and evenly matched for the most part. It's not going to be 100%, but as long as we can get close enough to it, that's all that matters. And this is what we're accomplishing here. As you can see, this is what we're trying to match, and this is what we mixed up. As you see, it's very, very close, and this is by mixing by eye. This is just a tad shade darker. I'll just add some more gray or black, just a little bit of gray or black just to make it slightly darker. But it looks pretty good to me, and we're probably gonna run with it. So we pretty much got it mixed up. We pretty much got it. Whew. I could have just ordered it, but honestly, I needed it done for today so we can get this order started. If I order it, it will take at least like a day to 2 days to arrive, and then that will set us back. This is why I'm doing this. Mission accomplished. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. This is today's episode of Mixing Ink for screen printing. This is Plastisol ink, by the way. Mixing ink, it gets messy. You get ink all over your fingers. To clean it, you want to wear gloves, and then to wipe off all these inks, you use baby wipes. Packs of baby wipes. to clean up. You gotta have them baby wipes on deck, especially for screen printing. It gets messy. Pretty much got it mixed up. Let's just clean this up a little bit. This right here is a butter knife. This is what we use to mix it. Pretty much got a whole bunch of butter knives and we filed down the blades just so it's easier to clean. And that's what we use to mix Plastisol, especially for the small like pints and quarts that we use. It's easy to mix it with a butter knife. Yeah, the fun part, cleaning up. Psych. On today's episode, today's dilemma, this is what we're working with.
The finish, cream, ink, look at it. Looking nice and right. And ready to be printed on some shirts. Rick's adding an extra final mix to it real quick before we add it on to the screen. Because the last thing you want to do is have it on the screen and it's not fully evenly mixed. That's going to be a nightmare. Then we just laid it down the ink on the screen. Go ahead and push the ink back. There's a lot of ink on the screen right now. So we're just going ahead and push it back. That way we can lift up the screen and it doesn't fall back down. It's time to get started. Start off the oven and turn on the heater so we can get the oven up to temp. Because we got to get it up to 800 degrees. Turn on the exhaust fans and let's get to cooking. This is our shelf full of inks. Rick taping off the registration marks so it doesn't print on the actual shirts that we use to print on the samples to help line up the design. It's a whole lot of steps to this. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is, but now we just gotta set up the platens to make sure it's in the right position on all of them. This is an 8x8, so we had to set up all the 8 platens to make sure it's all in the same spot so we get a nice and even print on every single shirt. Once we got it lined up, we do a final test just to make sure it's all in the same spot. I don't know why you're using the ink card, but hey, whatever works. The ink card is what he's using as a guide to make sure it's all in the same spot. Now we got the platen set up. It's time to add on the shirts on all the platens. Check out how we line up these shirts. Each shirt goes all the way on the platen. Then we pull it back till it's the bottom of the collar touches the top of the platen. This is how we're lining up for this design. Keep in mind, it's not the same for every print job.
I was watching somebody and they were screen printing something, and then one of the commenters was like, "Man, it's like that's such old equipment." The comment is like, "This equipment is only a year and a half old."
Oh, in the video?
Yeah. I think they were trying to say like, "Oh, it's not automatic. That means it's old." It's only a year and a half. We just bought it.
We got comfort color shirts, that seafoam colorway, comfort color 1717.
Now all the shirts are loaded on the platens, so it's time to start printing. So with this design, as solid cream, we're gonna do 2 passes on it. So that means we're gonna print it one time, flash it, and then print it a second time. So we will have a nice high quality result where it's nice and thick cream bold lettering on the shirt and it gives it that quality look and feel. And for this design, if you're wondering what mesh count we're using for the screen, we're using a 110 mesh count. So it allows a decent amount of ink to pass through the screen. It's generally what you want to use for any solid high opaque inks or white bases is generally 110. But all that can vary depending on what kind of print work and what kind of job you're doing. We were waiting for the oven to still heat up. It takes a little bit of time. So we started stacking the shirts on a chair. We went ahead and flashed it twice. That way the ink is cured to the touch. Then load the shirts back up for another round because this is like 100 shirts. So we got to keep it moving. Finally, I think the oven is up to temp. So I'm going to check it by running this first sample just to make sure it's nice and fully cured. Because that is very important with screen printing. If your ink isn't fully cured, when you wash it, the ink's gonna flake off and crack. And the client's not gonna like that very much. So we gotta make sure we take the time to make sure we cure this ink to perfection, providing that quality. You feel me? So here we got the shirt out of the oven. I'm doing a stretch test to make sure it doesn't crack. You see how it's stretching with the shirt? That means the ink is fully cured. And we're good to go. Now it's just time to lay down the rest of the shirts on the oven. As you can see, this takes a little bit of time. We had to slow down the bell some because the AC is on. It's hot here in Florida, man. We got to turn on the AC. And this is a rush order, so me and Rick are tag teaming to knock out his order ASAP. He's loading up the shirts and printing the shirts while I'm running the shirts through the oven and stacking it up and organizing them. As you run shirts, you know the lint sticks to the platens, and how we hold down the shirts is with adhesive. Here we're using a water-based adhesive. So Rick's adding more adhesive to our platens. So the shirt is held down and doesn't move when you print on them. You have to do this after every couple rounds. It really depends on what you're printing on because some shirts and other brands have more lint than others. Other people use spray adhesives in the cans, but we really don't like that because the adhesive gets everywhere and in the air and you breathe it in. You know what I mean? With water-based adhesive, you just spread it and then you just let it dry. We use the flasher to dry it quicker. But yeah, this is what we're doing to get the job done. So we're just knocking out these orders. As you can see, Rick's printing. I'm running these shirts through the oven and we're getting this job done ASAP. Here at Embroidery Plug, we do more than just embroidery. We do screen printing, as you can see, and we do direct garment printing as well. So whatever you need, whatever your print needs, holler at us, hit us up on Instagram, text us, reach out to us. We provide all the blanks from all of our vendors like SS Activewear, Sanmar, Shop Superline, you name it, we probably provide it. If you need hats, we also got blank hats on our website. Tap in with us. The link is in the bio. The website is embroideryplug.com. And our minimum quantity for screen printing is 25 shirts of the same design, 6 shirts for direct-to-garment printing, and for embroidery, our minimum is 12 hats of the same design or 12 garments of the same design. So that pretty much wraps today's episode. This is what we did today, screen printing, dealing with today's dilemma, but we always find a solution to the problem. That's how we get it done. Subscribe, like, and comment any questions down below. Until the next episode.